Hello fellas, so this is my review on a short horror film that I saw a year ago called Bad Egg. Now this film is actually based on a movie that was made back in the early 90s called The Good Son. And the film stars Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood. So this is kind of a similar story. A movie kind of teaches us that kids are not just born evil, they're born really evil. Kind of similar to Bad Egg. So, what actually starts off in this movie is that it shows the scene with a bunch of tall rock pillars out in the ocean. And the ocean is dark and mysterious. So, it cuts to one of the pillars, which actually has a nest. And in this nest is a single baby bird with two eggs. And his mother's looking on, getting ready to feed a worm to him. And from there, it said the worm is fed to him, but then suddenly the egg hatches, and out comes a little bird. The bird looks on, and he suddenly takes a nip at the worm that the bird is holding. But he thinks that's not enough, so what does he do? He suddenly snatches and steals the whole worm from his brother's mouth and eats it for himself. But he's still hungry, and he starts begging the mother for more. What makes me a little uneasy about this is that the birds don't chirp like ordinary everyday birds that you hear on a daily basis. No, they just go meek, meek, meek. So he goes. So he's just pouting, and the mother is flying off to go find some more food for them. So the little birds are just sitting there waiting. So when the little bird notices the egg, and then suddenly he has a face in his face is in shock as he cuts flash forward to what's going to happen. The egg hatches, and there are three of them. A big, fat, juicy worm is then presented to the three birds, but of course the birds begin fighting over it. And then finally the worm is split in half, and the two birds on either side are enjoying their worm, while the middle one gets nothing. And the scene flashes back, and the bird suddenly realizes what is going to happen. It's suddenly become obvious now that this bird has been set to evil. And from there, he suddenly takes drastic measures by pushing the egg towards the edge of the pillar until suddenly the egg is knocked over the side. And he watches with his brother suddenly looking over the side too with him as the egg descends to its death. And smacks and destroys right on a sharp piece of jagged stone near the water's line. And back up at the pillar, in the nest, the bird is looking on until suddenly he pushes his brother over the side too, without pity or remorse. The poor little bird is wailing as he falls to his death. And the bird suddenly gets back to the middle of the nest, waiting anxiously for his mother to show up. Of course, his mother starts approaching the nest, but then she notices, hey, the egg and my other bird is not there. It's only the one. Of course, it's the one that killed both of them. She starts coming closer to the nest, and the bird is all excited, jumping for her joy. It's like, hey, mommy, come on here with the food. And as she's getting closer to the nest, out of nowhere, bam! A clap of lightning, flash of lightning, destroys the poor mother into a poof of feathers, while the little chick looks on in terror as his mother's remains start floating down to the ocean. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, there's a loud caw, and a bunch of hawks start circling around, descending closer and closer as the bird is looking up in horror until the movie fades to black. And the important message that this film leaves for us is the earth provides enough for every man's need, but not for every man's greed. And that's a really powerful message, because it teaches us about what really happens in the world today. People pursue too much, but I digress. So, this movie is pretty amazing. I like the dark gothic tone, and So it reminds me of a style from Tim Burton. So the people who worked this did a very good job doing this film. So at the end, I would give this a 9 out of 10. But I have to let you know, it's not for everybody. You can watch it around the month of October. That's a good time to watch it. And that's my review, and I'll catch you later.